Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The Trilogy fight between Tyson Fury, WBC champion and former champ Deontay Wilder, formally triggered now, with Bob Arum confirming to the ringside reporter Wilder and his representatives formally notified us that they have accepted the rematch and are going forward. It's going to happen in the summer before the Olympics in the middle of July. So the Olympics are scheduled for the best part of August, so looking to get ahead of that clearly. Initially there had been some talk from Arum himself that maybe July would be pushed back and they were looking at dates in September or October, but clearly going back to the drawing board on July, and there could be a few reasons for that, and I'll come to that in this video. But 4.5 months away is mid-July. We're now in early February, so that's going to come up pretty quickly. And I guess you have to ask the question, is a shortened time frame an advantage for Tyson Fury on a number of fronts? I talked about in another video that I think that the closer the Trilogy fight is better for Fury in terms of staying motivated and staying on track, because if this thing had drifted out for 6 months, maybe it would have been a little harder for Tyson Fury to stay motivated, given he just beat Deontay Wilder in decisive fashion, and also he feels he won the first fight clearly. So I think 4.5 months for Fury, his mindset staying on track, and then obviously looking forward to another goal if he could win that fight in terms of an undisputed fight. That might just be enough to keep him motivated and on the rails. Obviously before, he didn't fulfill his obligations for a rematch, not rematching Vladimir Klitschko in 2016. And I guess you can also ask the question, is a condensed time period for Deontay Wilder a bad thing? Because if he had more time, obviously, to work out some kinks, make some changes in his camp, 6 months or so probably would have been a better time frame for him rather than 4.5 months. But I guess you can make an argument, 4.5 months, 6 months, if he doesn't change his game plan and he doesn't really make any broader changes within his team, doesn't matter if it's 4.5 or 6. I think, though, if he is going to try really identify some things to change, the longer the period, especially if he's making technical adjustments, 6 months would have been better for him. But also, he just took a battering from Tyson Fury, 4.5 months mentally. Will he be able to get himself up and right? There was some signs after the fight that he was struggling to cope with the loss, blaming all manner of things, including a costume malfunction, people in the crowd, Mark Breland, the referee, everyone but himself. And he's gone off and obviously told his fans he's a king and he will rise again.
And we will rise like a phoenix from the ashes and regain the title.
And with mid-July only being 4.5 months away, you'd have to imagine that they're going to have to announce and start promoting this fight soon. Reportedly did somewhere upwards of 800,000 pay-per-view buys, although Bob Arum believes that the number is higher. He's sort of spoken about 1.1 million buys, saying digital buys haven't been included, but that does sort of cut across some of the reporting that suggests that it has. But I guess Bob Arum, being the promoter, he wants everything to come out looking rosy in public. So it'll be interesting to hear what the final numbers are. But it's one of these things we never really, as fans, get a true indication because they don't have to be reported. And they're not reported. We just get told a number that is out there. So 800,000, 1.1 million, decent number of buys. If it broke even, who knows? All the revenue is still being tallied up. But it does sound like it was an expensive event, and breaking even was a very costly thing to achieve. But they do need to give this a good lead-in time to promote it, because the second fight had effectively 2 months worth of promotion. It was announced just before the new year, and obviously it was February the 22nd, so a pretty condensed time frame. So in this one here, they might need to pull out a few more stops over a longer period, just because it's a third fight and there may be lesser interest in it because of the result of the second fight. So it'll be interesting to see what angle are they going to take here in terms of trying to build this fight up. Is this a classic repeat or revenge, or is this a Fury's going to end Wilder's career type of angle that they might take, or will they try to build off Deontay Wilder's post-fight excuses, try to build him into the villain? He obviously believes he's got a lot left and can turn things around in the third fight. Maybe they can work with some of his statements and some of his rhetoric to try and build up the third fight and interest in it.
I'm a king that would never give up. I'm a king that will fight to the death.
But I believe it is a good move having it sooner rather than later. I think drawing it out until September or October, it could have actually seen interest in the fight wane further. Some fans have already expressed that they're a little lukewarm on a third fight because of the result of the second. And if you push it out for 6 months or so, that probably wouldn't have got any better. So striking while the iron is hot or somewhat hot is going to be better, I believe, than pushing it further out. And it's going to be another joint event by the sounds of things. ESPN and Fox will try to build this thing up. But I don't know how much sort of hot air they can put into the promotion to really blow it up bigger than the second one, just because of the results. That kind of takes away a few threads on how they can push it. Obviously, the first fight had a lot of controversy. You could build off that. People thought Fury won. Some people thought Wilder won. But obviously, there was the knockdown, so there was some controversy with the draw too. Second one didn't really have so much of that because it was so definitive. Sure, there's been a few post-fight conspiracy theories with gloves and other bits and pieces, and then obviously Wilder's excuses. But I don't know if they've got as many things to work with in a way to get people G'd up as they were for the second fight. So they've got their work cut out for them, but Deontay Wilder officially triggering the trilogy looks like it will happen before the Olympics. And actually just on the Olympics with coronavirus, there has been some talk that maybe those games won't go ahead. And obviously if that does happen, but that might not be announced for a few months, that could leave a hole in the August window as well. But I guess they can't plan their events just based off something that may or may not happen. But July, that seems to be a month where there's a bit of a downturn in a lot of sports. It's a sort of a shoulder season for a couple of different things, so it's not a bad time to have the card. But it could be one of these things because there's not a lot on at that time that it might just get some extra attention as a result that could have factored into it. But do you want to see it? Wilder's triggered the contract. Let me know. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.